step one to fixing anything is just restarting it. The next thing that you do if that doesn't work is you take the system as a whole and you compartmentalize the individual parts of that system. And then you diagnose those individual parts. And then you refer back to step one of fixing anything, which is to turn it off and then turn it back on again. In this case, this old filter that I had restarted it. It didn't work. So I took it apart and I just found the sensor module, I unplugged it, plugged it back in, and now it's working the same as if it was brand new. And you'll be surprised just how often that works to fix anything, really, whether it's you're dealing with a computer problem, or you're trying to troubleshoot your network, or you're working on code. The first step to fixing pretty much anything is to reinitialize that part of the system. Sometimes that's not always the case, though. Don't go through and try to restart somebody's server, but you could do something like reload Nginx. So the next step after that is to take the system as a whole and break it down into its individual parts and then troubleshoot those compartmentalized pieces of the system. So in this case, a seesaw, we have two parts of the system. You have the fulcrum and then you have the board. That's the two parts of the system. You go in and start troubleshooting those. Let's take a small office network as an example. Say you're having trouble printing. Go through and compartmentalize the system. So you have the client devices, you have the network, and then of course you have the printer. And keep in mind whenever you're troubleshooting these things individually that each part of this system, each compartmentalized part, has even lower levels that you can break it down to. So the printing system, for example, has got a bunch going on your computer. But this is just how you troubleshoot things. Take a huge system as a whole, break it down into its individual parts, and then troubleshoot those individual parts. As you do this, as you go through each of these compartmentalized parts of your system, you'll finally start seeing sources of the problem. They'll jump out at you, and then you'll be able to pinpoint exactly where the problem is happening at. Perhaps it's not on your client's devices. Perhaps it's on the network. Maybe it's on the printer. You don't know until you break the system down and troubleshoot those individual parts. I felt it necessary to add this to the end because there's definitely going to be at least one smartass in the comments going, nuh-uh. So on that air filter, the first thing that I did was clean the sensor and then restart it, and that didn't work. So I broke the system down into compartmentalized parts of that system and then tested those out. And on the subject of reseating connectors, that's useful. The reason why you reseat connectors is because even though you can see that the male and the female part of the connector are seated and they've been working great for a long time now, over time, especially in a dirty environment, you can get corrosion or buildup on those connectors. And it will make it to where it doesn't make a full contact. Kind of weird, but yeah, it happens. And a lot of times just reseating the connectors is enough to scrape away whatever's causing that disconnection to happen and allow it to reconnect. On some other cases, you have to pull things out and completely clean the connectors and then reseat them. Like on old copy machines, I've had it to where RAM had the gold-plated tips, had this horrible looking dull bronze film that would build up over them because of just how much dirt and grime and junk had collected on them. You had to pull them out and reseat them.